We just getting started, baby. Did anybody see what Mr. Wardell Steph Curry did to the Portland Trailblazers? They were nobodies. They beat the Giants. Trash. They beat the Broncos. Trash. If you ever watched Dragon Ball Z, my man's was Super Saiyan. I couldn't wear this until we actually caught a dub. And he did all of this damage in 36 minutes. Let that sink in. They beat the Eagles, trash. The Cowboys, trash. The Bengals, trash. The Jaguars, trash. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here on Rob's 2 Cents. My good people, hello, world. I'd like to welcome you guys back to the show that's hot with your boy, Rob Scott. This is Rob's 2 Cents. What's going on, y'all? Hope everybody's been good. As you guys know, I had to give myself a mental break for the week. You know, a lot going on. Just got a new job. Getting my mind prepared for the grind that's about to happen, because it's about to be a grind, man. I'm about to be all over the place in a second. Uh, I'm talking about here in New York, maybe McCormick Place, maybe Cali. Man, I got a lot on the plate. And then I have to give myself a pat on the back. I've made a connection with a person who's been in the Chicago sports scene for a while. His name is Brother Jerry Rouse. He has a sports show called The Rewind Sports 60, which is the fastest hour in sports. They definitely have a great show. I've been doing a couple cameos on their show. And this past Sunday, yesterday, I actually had an in-studio appearance. So I got to go down there, participate in the show, pretty much become the NBA analyst for his show. They just signed a deal where they are going to be on Roku now. So Rob's 2 Cents might be a part of that programming. So I'm just trying to see how everything is going to turn out. I'm definitely excited. I'm a little nervous because with the new job I have, I won't have a lot of time to do pretty much anything but focus on that at hand. So, gonna be interesting to see how I make this work. But y'all know this is my passion. This is where it's at, and I'm gonna make it work, y'all. And speaking of making it work, I don't know how Brooklyn gonna make it work, because, as you guys know, I'm not a Milwaukee Bucks fan, but I do know great basketball when I see great basketball. And if you've been a fan of this show, or even just a casual listener here and there, you know that I spoke about the significance of bringing a player like Drew Holiday to the adding him to that roster, bringing in the PJ Tucker, adding him to that roster, bringing that defensive presence to that roster. And the Milwaukee Bucks exercised their demons in the first round by getting a sweep on the Miami Heat, 4-0. Giannis acted a fool in that series. And watching them play, watching them beat a team that pretty much derailed the Bucks last year of their in the NBA Finals dreams, I was like, okay, this is a different Bucks team. This is not the same Bucks that we've seen from time and time again in these past few years. And then they get to the Brooklyn Nets. And let me tell you guys, the Brooklyn Nets, that's a juggernaut. That's a juggernaut. Even without James Harden, who injured himself in the first quarter, in the first 13 seconds of the game, 43 seconds of the game, injured his hamstring. Now he's been out for the series. Happened to be the same hamstring that kept him out with the last few weeks of the regular season. No problem. KD goes for 29. Kyrie goes for 25. I mean, just efficient from the field, having their way, doing, the old school flashy Miami Heat plays. That play just sticks out to me. Kyrie gets a fast break. He turns around, he glances, he sees the 7-footer KD right behind him, throws it behind his back. He know all I have to do is put the ball out there. KD will take care of the rest. Yeah, the Brooklyn Nets are a monster of a team. But then injury happens again. Game 3, Kyrie goes down. Now he's out with a sprained ankle. And if you guys saw anything, LeBron James suffered a sprained ankle at the end of his season. He missed 7 weeks, 7 consecutive weeks with an ankle sprain. And you guys that don't know about how ankle sprains work, it's hard to dictate the healing time for those because nothing is broke, nothing is torn. You just sprained it. So that ankle can get healed in a matter of a week up to 2 to 3 months. I remember I sprained my ankle. I was down, especially depending on the extracurricular things that they do. That Kyrie is he. I don't see him coming back for the rest of this series. However, if you look at the Milwaukee Bucks team, they were playing great defense and holding the Brooklyn Nets to under 100 points, and that's before Kyrie went down. Kyrie went down, what, in the third or the fourth with 6 minutes remaining? So the Milwaukee Bucks were able to do their thing against the Brooklyn Nets before Kyrie got injured. Now we get to see what KD is made of. Now we know Giannis is a beast. He's finally somebody spoke to Giannis finally and told him stop shooting outside jumpers. That is not your game. And it's a shame that it's not his game because of Giannis Antetokounmpo. If he adds that 17-footer, if he adds a consistent 3-point ball into his game, Giannis is going to be unstoppable. So, whoever he works with in the offseason, that need to be their priority of focus. Get Giannis a jumper. Because if he does that, man, the sky's the limit for this guy. But Giannis he's finally starting to take advantage of the paint situation. The Nets are not playing with a true center. DeAndre Jordan hasn't been playing. Jeff Green was out for a while. You look, they really had Blake Griffin and KD holding the paint down. As a Milwaukee Buck player, I'm sorry, that just won't fly. You need more fortitude than that. You need more of a fortress to keep me from the rim than that. I'm just trying to let you guys know something. The Milwaukee Bucks are finally starting to take advantage of a paint because there is no defense on the Brooklyn Nets side of the ball when you have KD being the biggest person on the court for the Brooklyn Nets. And KD is tall, but he's not big. Let me go to the audience. I appreciate you, baby. I appreciate your vote of confidence. Hey, Jay, that's what I'm about to get to right now. KD he's on the stage now. Hey, Mario, appreciate you for joining in, brother. And Robert, man, Roberto, appreciate you, my guy. Appreciate all you guys for tuning in. But to get to Jay's point, that's very true. KD now has to prove himself. I was speaking with my cousin. I spoke about this yesterday when I was on the Rewind Sports 60 with Brother Jerry Wiles. Kevin Durant has never been in a position where he has not been or had great players on his team. Besides maybe his rookie year when he came in when they were still the Seattle Supersonics. You draft for Russell Westbrook, we're talking about a future MVP. You get a James Harden, we're talking about a future MVP. You get a Serge Ibaka, we're talking about a future NBA champion. We get a Jeff Green, and that's the guy that's currently playing on your team, who was at one point in time probably the best net player because he was the only one standing. Everybody else has been hurt throughout the year. Kevin Durant and that Oklahoma City Thunder team, that was a great team. We're talking about a Russell Westbrook 4 out of 5 years lead the league in triple doubles. We're talking about James Harden just doing what he does, the bearded one. They all played together. And then you transition from that and you go to the team that beat you, who you had down 3-1. You go to a team that won 73 games in the regular season, 73-9. You go to that team that had a 2-time MVP on there, 1-time unanimous. We go to a team that has a 2-time NBA Defensive Player of the Year. And you go to a team that have a person like Klay Thompson, who besides Steph Curry is one of the deadliest snipers in the league. You go to that, and you continue to win. And then you come to Brooklyn where you have a Kyrie Irving, who's an NBA champion. You have a James Harden, who's an NBA MVP. You bring in a Blake Griffin who I know Detroit fans are heated right now because where was this Blake at in Detroit? That Blake in Detroit was just sitting there getting a check. This guy with Brooklyn looked like he wants to win the ring. Hey, level of the players that you're playing with, right? KD has never been without, and that's the point that I'm trying to make. And now that he's without James Harden, now that he's without Kyrie, now we get to see what KD is made of, y'all. Will KD earn that name, Easy Money Sniper? Because yesterday, without Kyrie, what he was 12 or 28, 12 or 25, you know. No, I'm sorry, 9 or 25. Only 28 points. It's not easy to get those open looks that you get when you don't have those killers next to you. Because now teams can do what they did to Steph Curry all year. Teams can do what they've done to LeBron James in the past. We can focus our defense on you. So every time you touch the ball, you're going to see 3 or 4 defenders around you. You're going to see at least 2 to 3. We're not just going to let you kill us. We're going to let your team kill us. If Joe Harris hit that 3-point, more power to you, Joe. If Landry Shamet hits that open jumper, more power to you. We're not going to let Kevin Durant hit that open jumper because there is no James Harden on this court. There is no Kyrie on this court. We can zero in on you. Hey, I'm going to go to the comments real quick. Do I think the Bucks can beat Philly? That is an interesting question. That is a very interesting question. It's definitely going to be some matchup problems out there because Brook Lopez can't do anything with Joel Embiid. No, not too many people can. And the way that Philly plays defense, they're going to build up that wall against Giannis. Giannis is not going to be able to get to his strong suit. And not to mention, I believe with the way Ben Simmons has been playing defense this year. Remember, he came in second place to Rudy Gobert for NBA Defensive Player of the Year. The way Ben Simmons plays defense, I believe he's going to take on the challenge of trying to stick Giannis. And I really think it's going to come down to the guard play. Can Danny Green and Steph Curry match up well against Drew Holiday and Chris Middleton? That's going to be the question. I think it's really going to come down to the play of guards in this game because you're going to have people that cancel each other out. And not to mention Tobias Harris is going to be your X factor. But you have to remember PJ Tucker is he's gonna step up for the task. He's gonna do what he has to do to get the job done as far as defense goes. Look at how rough he's playing KD right now. He's getting under KD's skin. I mean, and somebody asked me the question, that security guard belonged to Kevin Durant. What gave that man the right to step on the court to push PJ Tucker out the way, pushing the referee and other players that were on the court? Hey, brother, I understand that you're the personal bodyguard of KD and the Nets hire you to be part of that security team over there. But you need to understand and learn a little bit of professionalism. You don't just run on the court and touch people because then PJ would have been in the right to touch you back. That's Rob's 2 cents on that. I think that series will go to 7, Rob, to answer your question. But I think Philly just has too much, including on that bench because they don't get smaller. Remember, you got when Joel Embiid goes to take a rest, you're bringing in a Dwight Howard. Shake Milton has been making a name. Maxi's been making a name for himself in these playoffs. I think Philly has too much firepower for him. Hey, I give much respect to LeBron, but the situation with LeBron is home now. LeBron is in Cancun. He's getting ready to do his movie. As you guys see, LeBron is going to be wearing number 6 once again. Remember, he wore number 6 in his Miami years, getting away from that identity of 23, in which he won 2 championships. He wears number 6 in the Olympics. So I'm assuming LeBron is having a reawakening moment, and he's gonna be coming back as number 6. So that's something to keep our eyes on. In basketball, a lot of things comes down to psyche too. NBA players are notorious for being very, very superstitious. Their rituals matter. So, oh, I'm glad you bring that up, Jay. We're gonna transition right into the Phoenix Suns actually because Chris Paul has been playing out of his mind right now. I want you guys to think of this. We're talking about a 36-year-old point guard who just a couple of years ago everybody had wrote off. Now we know why they wrote Chris Paul off. Because every year in the playoffs, he gets injured. This is I don't know if he has a curse, an injury curse. I don't know what the case is. Remember, in those Clipper years, when the Clippers would get deep into the playoffs, Chris Paul, injury, right on schedule. Remember with the Houston Rockets, and remember, I'm a Golden State fan, but I can't admit that the Houston Rockets had Golden State on the ropes. The way Chris Paul was starting to lead that team because James Harden finally realized I need to let Chris Paul be Chris Paul, and they were able to really give it to the Warriors up until Game 6 when Chris Paul got injured. The Houston Rockets, we don't know what could have been had Chris Paul not went down with that hamstring injury. But right on schedule, he gets injured. And then even this year, we look at first round against the Lakers, he gets a stinger in his shoulder, which definitely held him down, as he was trying to perform out there on the basketball court. So imagine being a 36-year-old point guard in a league that's built around guard play, being wrote off. They're saying you're done. They're saying it's over with. And Chris Paul takes a Phoenix Sun team that went undefeated in the bubble, didn't make the playoffs, but we saw something there was special. And they added a Chris Paul. He comes to this team that takes a team that was not in the playoffs up to second place in the Western Conference, which is the toughest conference in the NBA. And then you beat the defending champions 4-2. Wait, 4-1 actually. Was it 4-1? Let me check. Yeah, no, 4-2. So they beat them in Game 6. AD had a great game. LeBron fought for his life one game, but eventually they fall to Phoenix. And then we see what they just did to the Denver Nuggets. Straight sweep. Now remember, the Denver Nuggets made it to the Western Conference Finals last year in the bubble where they lost to the Lakers. Remember, Denver Nuggets had an MVP this year in Nikola Jokic, the Joker. Congratulations to him, by the way. A guy who averaged 26, 10, and 8. I mean, just a complete stud this year. Now, granted, Denver did lose Jamal Murray. Granted, Will Barton was down for a lot in that series. However, Denver was there to play. You bring in an Aaron Gordon. You go get an Austin Rivers. You try to do everything you can to help sustain that loss of scoring that you're going to get from Jamal because he's down with the ACL. He's gone for the year. He ain't coming back. But do Chris Paul care? No. Does Chris Paul care that AD goes down in the first round? No. Does Chris Paul care that Denver doesn't have Jamal Murray? No. Why? Because his teams had to endure him going down. So why should I show sympathy for this team when I look at the Houston Rockets? We're in the Western Conference Finals. We're literally 2 games away from beating the Golden State Warriors, the defending champions, and I go down with a hamstring injury. Why should I care? And Chris Paul did what he had to do. This guy had 41 assists in those 4 games. 41. Remember the one game he went 17 points, 15 assists? On the closeout game, he goes for 37 and 7. I mean, 41 assists, only 5 turnovers, and 6 steals. Chris Paul had more steals than turnovers in those 4 games that they swept the Denver Nuggets. He had 41 assists in those 4 games. Chris Paul revitalized his career, and he did something with the Phoenix Suns that we didn't see coming. Because Phoenix is here. And I told people early in the season, when they got Chris Paul, the point guard, that was my sleeper team. Phoenix is for real. And I kept telling you guys that. Am I still ready to put all my stock into Phoenix? No. As crazy as this sounds, I still think the Los Angeles Clippers are the most dangerous team in this playoffs, even though they've been playing like crap. But I just cannot deny those Jordan moments that Kawhi Leonard has been having. Yeah, I'll tell him. Those Jordan moments. But back to Chris Paul. I mean, this guy is just. I mean, the trickery that this guy is still a wizard with the ball. Probably one of the best mid-range jump shooters in the league, besides Kawhi Leonard and Kevin Durant. I mean, Chris Paul is gonna hit those middies on you, and that's exactly what you need. He's not gonna. I mean, he had 37 points without attempting a 3-point shot in that closeout game against the Nuggets. And and what does this do for Joker's legacy? Now you're an MVP that just got swept in the second round. Granted, you lost your running mate in Jamal Murray, but hey, you have to play with who you have. And being an MVP type player, being a person that just was awarded that prestigious award, you couldn't win one game against Phoenix. You couldn't make it a little bit interesting. You get ejected by doing stupid things like swinging your fist at Cameron Payne. Now, granted, the referees was soft. Do I think that should have been a flagrant two? No, not by a long shot. However, I know that as an MVP, my team needs me on the court, and I can't have mental breakdowns like that where I'm catching a temper tantrum because I didn't get the call that I thought I deserved. So I swing at the ball, and the way I swing at the ball doesn't matter if I hit the ball or not, because I'm probably 9 times out of 10 gonna knock it out of bounds. He would have been better off just going to go punch something, punch the underneath the rim or something. But to swing at Cameron Payne, to get that dumb flagrant two, to get yourself ejected in the closeout game, Denver gave up. And it starts at the top. It starts with the general. If the general feels we cannot win the war, the soldiers are going to follow suit. They're going to be ready to wave the right flag. Just letting you guys know, man, Phoenix took the life and spirit out of the Denver Nuggets. Let's go back to the questions. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Jay, he went crazy on AD. Ken, what's up, my boy? How you feeling, man? Welcome to the party. Appreciate you for coming in, brother. As you know, we talking NBA basketball right now. Can KD lead the Nets to the conference finals and CP3 performance in the playoffs this season? I don't think so. I think without Kyrie or James Harden, the Nets will lose to the Milwaukee Bucks. I've been saying that they were probably gonna get upset by the Bucks, and definitely without that firepower, without the 30 you can get from James Harden, without the 30 you can get from Kyrie, I don't think there's enough for KD to go around. And I think right now the Milwaukee Bucks are gonna smell blood. They're gonna turn into great whites right now. They're gonna smell blood in the water. And if I was them, I'm coming out to attack. We tied this series up 2-2. You beat us 2 games in Brooklyn. We beat y'all 2 games in Milwaukee. We're back on even footing now. Now you don't have that backup that you thought you was gonna have, KD. Now I will say this: if KD is able to get past the Bucks without Kyrie and James Harden, this will definitely help his legacy. Right now, his legacy is a little tarnished because he's just been running the super team after super team after super team. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I know you're going to say, Rob, there have been super teams since the existence of the NBA. Yes, I understand this. The problem was players didn't choose those teams. NBA managers chose those teams. GMs, presidents of operations. They put those teams into place. I'm sorry. As a player, I understand that you want to be on equal footing with the generals, with the owners, with the general managers, with the presidents of operations. However, you don't understand the significance of how that makes you look to go run to another player and say, hey, I need your help. Okay? That's one of the things that Michael Jordan get praised on. He didn't go to other people. They came to him. They bought in Scottie Pippen. They bought in Dennis Rodman. Mike didn't ask anybody to join him. And Mike didn't go to anybody else to say, hey, let's see. That's like him going to Charles Barkley and Magic Johnson or Charles Barkley and Kareem and saying, hey, bro, let's team up. That's just, it's cowardly. And unfortunately, as the soldier, as the fighter, as the warrior, as the gladiator, you can't team up with other gladiators. Let the leader decide that. Hey, if he wants to put you with Magic, then they'll make trades happen to do so. But you, as the person that's going out here to perform, you can't go to that man and say, let's join up. You're my enemy. You're the person I'm trying to be better than. And that's why the league has got a little watered down. I'm just, it's players. I'm not mad at the freedom that they have. But man, if I have 5 Hall of Famers on my team, is that really fair? I didn't even really like it when the Warriors did it. I was a Warriors fan before KD got there because Steph is my favorite player. We just reap the benefits of a person like KD coming to that team. But do I like it? No. It's you tip the balance. You don't even make it interesting. It's like watching an all-star game. And we all know in the all-star game, I'm not like these new NBA fans. I don't want to see consistent scoring. I want to see the game played the right way. I want to see defensive stops. I want to see coaching strategies. This is truly a chess match. Hey, if I have to ruffle some feathers, shake up the starting lineup, maybe switch up my bench rotation, whatever I have to do to make sure that I beat this team. I love the fight in the NBA. But if I take a LeBron James and I go grab a Wade and I grab a Bosh, or I'm Kevin Durant and I go run to a 2-time MVP, 1-time unanimous, meaning everybody in the league voted for this dude to be the MVP, I go run over here and go play with them. Yeah, we better win. We better win. We got 3, 4 Hall of Famers on this team. I just don't like that idea, and I really feel like they need to tighten up the NBA cap restrictions. You can't have all these people on the same team, man. You get an all-star, they get an all-star, they get an all-star. Now let's see who gonna win. I don't want to be, that's like watching the Brooklyn Nets go against the Sacramento Kings. What do you think is gonna happen? I'm sorry, y'all. That's my rant for this show. Let me go back over here. Okay, rumor has it that Luka might leave Dallas and Kawhi leave the Clippers if the Clippers lose this season. Uh, Man, honestly, I would love to see Luka come to the Bulls. I would love for the Bulls to be able to get a supermax guy. But Luka is a hell of a player. Luka is the second coming. I'm not even gonna say a Larry Bird. That dude he's a monster. I love his pace and the way he plays the game. I wouldn't be surprised if Luka does look to go to a team. You know what? A matter of fact, since everybody is super teamed up, I would love to see Luka go to Portland. I would love to see Dame and Luka play together. Oh, that'd be nice. Might not be much of a defensive team, but man, well, will they be able to score? I'm telling you. I would love to see Luka and Dame play together because Dame is one of the OGs that's left that's not running to people. I would love for him to get some good fortune. As far as Kawhi is going to go anywhere and make an impact. I mean, Kawhi is Kawhi. Hate him or love him. Kawhi Leonard is a professional basketball player. He is a great basketball player. Kawhi Leonard is definitely going to be going down when it's all said and done as one of the greats, one of the best two-way players in the league. Let's go back to the comments. Hey, Cuzzo, Jeff, how you feeling, man? I appreciate you for being here, brother. Oh, no. I'm going to let you know something, Jeff. Super teams have been happening for a long time. It's just that back then, those GMs and presidents put them together. If you look at the Boston Celtics team that Bill Russell played on, 9 Hall of Famers were on that team. They definitely tipped the scale. You look at the Celtics team that we mostly notate today. Larry Bird. You had DJ. You had Robert Parrish, Kevin McHale. They had a squad. You go to the Lakers. You got Worthy, Magic, Kareem. All these dudes on the same team. Even the Bulls was a super team. Especially when you look at Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, Dennis Rodman. That's a super team. So we have seen super teams for quite a while. It's just that these players now, now they're running to each other. That's the thing I don't like. It's about competition. Like I said, Michael Jordan didn't go to Charles Barkley and say, let's play together. It just didn't happen. So, now you look at, people that we call the greats, like LeBron. He runs to his friend D Wade. Hey, man, let's play together, bro. So that's the thing I don't like about it. But as far as having a super team, yeah, super teams have existed. I mean, it just is what it is, especially if that's a bigger market and the owner is willing to spend a little money because he knows that this super team in the long run is going to bring him back that income because it's going to put asses in seats. That's what's going to happen. Now, every game, the stadium is packed. So, yeah, and speaking of super teams, did you guys see Julio Jones get traded to the Tennessee Titans? Man, and he got traded for little to nothing. I got some notes here if you guys will bear with me for a second. Because I'm still in disbelief about that. So Julio Jones got traded to the Tennessee Titans from the Atlanta Falcons in exchange for a 2022 second round draft pick and a 2023 fourth round selection that went to the Falcons. The Falcons sent Jones and a 2023 sixth round pick to the Titans. Tennessee just became a super team, yo. Tennessee is going to be very scary because Ryan Tannehill can somewhat throw the ball. And you remember A.J. Brown has been over there already making a name for himself as a top-notch receiver. Now you bring in a Julio Jones, a guy who can go crazy, a guy that can catch 15,000 yards, go for a 1,500-yard season, and and at least give you 9 touchdowns. You're not gonna know who you're gonna double team, and I ain't even mentioned the monster that's in the middle, the running back, the big man, Derrick Henry, who just be rumbling and tumbling and knocking people over. Derrick Henry is a monster. I can't wait to see some football this year. I'm still riding with my Buccaneers. Yes, I have to ride with the Buccaneers because Tom Brady is my guy. Hey, you guys can hate it or love it. Hey, why you guys hate greatness? I don't know why. Let's go back to the comments, y'all. Yeah, you right, cuz. Mike and Bart, that would have never happened. Now, granted, Barkley tried to do that later in his career, where he tried to go to Houston and team up with Akeem Olajuwon and who it was somebody else on that team, Scottie Pippen, I believe, right? They all tried to team up together, but it just didn't work out. By that time, Charles Barkley was over and done with. I appreciate you, cuz. What's up, Mika? Thank you for being here. Thank you for joining the show. I appreciate you. Yeah, yeah. Tennessee is gonna be very scary, y'all. Before we get up out of here, I didn't get a chance to get y'all thoughts. So let me tell you guys, give you my little predictions. I think Utah is gonna win the game. No, the Clippers are gonna win the game tonight. Mike Conley is still down with that hamstring for Utah. I believe the Clippers are gonna win this series. Um, Especially if the Jazz don't get Mike Conley back. I believe it'll go to 6 games. Clippers gonna win 4-2. They're going to meet Denver in the Western Conference Finals, where I believe the Clippers will end the Chris Paul Cinderella story. I really hate to say that because I'm a huge Chris Paul fan. I've been rooting for that guy this season. But I just think the Clippers are going to be too much for any team that they play, except for maybe Philly, and that's if everybody is healthy. Because we know Danny Green is going to be missing 2 weeks, dealing with a leg contusion or something like that. So Injury has just been so big in this season, and that's just because of the shortened season that they have been doing. It's just you play in the bubble. The season ends in October. You have such a quick turnaround, and begin the season, on Christmas. That's too quick of a turnaround, and then you play a 72 game season. It's still a lot of games, which means two or three teams are going to be having nights where they're going 3-4 games in the next 5 to 6 nights. That's a lot of basketball being played. So injuries have been very prevalent, and it's been just the calling card for this season. But I believe the Clippers are going to be your representatives coming from the Western Conference. If we look in the East, Philly, it's over with, you guys. Atlanta is trying to make a little bit of a comeback right now. I do love what Trae Young has been doing. He's definitely been making a name for himself this year. Trae is showing that he can ball. He is showing that he can hoop. But right now, it's just too much of the 76ers. They do have the ability to play great defense. And Joel Embiid is just on a different level right now. I just watched him Euro step. Oh well, never mind. He messed that play up. But yeah, Joel Embiid is definitely a beast. I believe Philly is going to be too much. I got Philly winning that series 4-1, and then I got Milwaukee winning in a 7 game series. I believe KD is going to put up a fight. I don't want to say 7, but I'm gonna give K just because it's KD. He is one of the best players in the world. I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt, but I still got Milwaukee winning 4-3, and then against Philadelphia, I have Philly beating Milwaukee 4-2. So I have Philly versus the Clippers in the NBA Finals. That's my predictions. Write them down. Keep a note of them so you know that Rob predicted right. Also, before I leave you guys, I already gave congratulations to Nikola Jokic on being the NBA's MVP. Coach Tom Thibodeau, old Tibbs, Coach Tibbs, was honored with Coach of the Year honors. Um, I really feel like it should have been Coach Monty Williams, or Quinn Snyder. I just believe Utah and Phoenix made such a huge turnaround this past season that it should have came down to one of those guys. Nothing against Coach Tibbs. He definitely turned the fortunes of New York around, man. We know that New York Knicks team was trash. And it just wasn't no way around that. New York probably has some of the most loyal fans in the world. I was just telling that to brother Jerry Rouse. If we talk about fandom, the New York Yankees and the Chicago Cubs have to have some of the most loyal fans in sports history. I don't care if the Cubs or Yankees are winning, if they're losing. Their fans are going to show up and they're going to show out. And the Knicks definitely fall in that category as having loyal fans. I mean, they always pack that garden. It's always a festive time, a bunch of celebrities, especially when they're winning. And we hadn't seen the Knicks have a winning season since Carmelo did it, back in 2013, 2014. So, shout out to Tibbs for winning Coach of the Year. What did you guys think of that Mayweather fight? I got to know this before I get out of here. It was a little boring, but from a boxing standpoint, it was beautiful just to see, Mayweather still got it. Not as clean as he had it once before, which I wouldn't expect from a 44-year-old man, especially a guy that's been retired from the ring for about 2 to 3 years. So, but to just see, him fighting somebody that's way bigger than him, you know, uh, he did pretty good. Uh, he didn't take any damage in that fight, really. I look at Logan Paul. Man, his eye was swole. He had cuts under around the cheek area. It's rumored, and I've been watching this clip quite a few times. It's rumored that Mayweather knocked him out, but held him up. Now, I watched this clip that they were talking about. He did look out on his feet for a second, but it didn't look like he was knocked out. You know, it looked like Mayweather maybe knocked some screws loose, but he didn't knock them out. He didn't turn the lights out. He kind of just dimmed them. You know, if I could say that. Jay, I would have to agree with you. Um, he definitely stole one. They definitely stole $100 million from everybody. I was one of the idiots that ordered the fight. And you know, I won't lie to you. If they do another one, I'll probably order that one too. You know, definitely want to see the Deontay Wilder fight versus Tyson Fury. Their third time around. That should be pretty interesting. Tyson Fury right now winning the series. You know, remember the first fight was a draw. The second fight, Fury knocked him out in the fifth or sixth round, and you know, and now we're waiting on this fight upcoming. So, boxing has definitely got some interesting. I think Tank Davis is going to be fighting. One of the Charlo brothers is going to be fighting. Errol Spence versus Manny Pacquiao is supposed to be happening. So, definitely an interesting time if you're a boxing fan right now to get some good fights in. Yeah, you know, it's interesting in the world of sports right now. NFL season right around the corner. Will Aaron Rodgers play for the Packers? Will he decide to go into an early retirement if they don't let him get out of his contract? There is a lot of drama in sports going on right now. You know, did you guys see the Denver Nuggets fan that was no, I'm sorry, he's a Phoenix Suns fan in Denver. And he got into it with a couple of other Denver Nuggets fans. They tried to sneak him. And that guy, he definitely put on a more interesting fight than Mayweather and Logan Paul did, let me tell you. I mean, he was uppercutting those guys a little vicious. If you guys ain't watched the clip, I advise you go to YouTube, go to World Star. It's out there, man. It was hilarious. Even Devin Booker supposedly tweeted out, I need that guy's info. You know, they're going to hook him up with some courtside seats for trying to get bullied over there in Denver as Denver was suffering the sweep. You know, just a lot of drama going on in sports right now, man. And that's the end of my show, man. You know, had to pay homage. If you guys not able to see, you know, I had to pay homage to my boy Kobe, man. Very iconic picture, man. Definitely wanted to pay homage to my boy. You know, as I mentioned, you know, he's probably one of the reasons that I do this to this day, man. Got to adopt that Mamba mentality, man. And I appreciate you guys for coming back and tuning in with your boy. I know it's been a while since I've done the live show, and it's probably going to be a while again, just because, like I said, you know, with my new job, I'm going to be quite busy. But I appreciate you guys. Thank you, Cuzzo. I appreciate you for being here. And I appreciate all you guys, man. You know, I hope you all continue to have a great one. You know, continue to set your goals. Make sure they're achievable goals. And then make sure once you get that plan, you go execute, man. This has been your boy that's hot. This has been your boy, Rob Scott, man, with the hottest sports conversation in the nation. And I hope you guys continue to be great. And you already know the slogan, baby. We gone. There's a bigger fight going on. There's a much bigger agenda than the streets. And I know sometimes it's hard to see that far in front of us. But we have to look past the illusions, look past the delusions of grandeur, and look at the bigger picture. We need to become better versions of ourselves each and every day. Fight for what you believe in. Because if you stand for nothing, you'll fall for anything. We just getting started, baby. You guys know the slogan now. Hope you all have a great evening. And we gone.